And good morning, everyone. My name is Dale Keter, and I'm playing Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition once again. I don't know if you can hear the bells in the background, but the church right next to me just chimed the 10 o'clock bell ring, whatever it's called. 10 peals of the bell uh, from them. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh, yes. Time to get back to the game. Plowshare Twitch. Let me see, where was I last time? Ah, yes, I had just defeated the Intellect Devourer and collected the reward from Arabeth. Let me see. I had already sold all my vendor loot last time to Miss de Tilmaran, and if I recall correctly, I was planning on mopping up the remains of the Peninsula District and turning in all the quests. Let's go back. I believe this will be the first time I will be using the portal. It costs 50 gold for chapter 1. In succeeding chapters, it'll get more expensive because we get more gold then. It's well worth it though, because the time you save is quite significant. Now, I believe I already looted everything here, so it's just time to go back into the jail. There's a part here I haven't explored yet. So I'm gonna probably finish that part there. But first, let's see, what buffs do I have? Mage armor. Protection from evil. And flame weapon. So the nice thing about protection from alignment, aka protection from evil and or good, is that most of the enemies you'll be fighting are evil. And this gives +2 deflection, +2 saving throws, and immunity to mind affecting spells and spell-like abilities, which is really, really good. Now, another use for this spell is protection from good. Let me see if I can hotkey that here. Here we go. Protection from good is, well, it has some situational uses, like casting it on your companion so you can blast them with AoE mind-affecting spells without affecting them. It's very handy if you're a good person like me. So this lever opened up the door here, and there's going to be another lever there behind that door. So time to backtrack. Squeak. I'm not sure if the monsters will have despawned by now. Let me see. Let's go here. In some parts of the campaign, when you defeat the final boss of that area, the monsters despawn. And all that's left is to collect the loot. Oh, heck, I went the wrong way. No, I did not. No, it's this way. All right, let's continue on. Oh, they did not despawn. All right, Tommy, go get them. They're still giving me decent XP, so I should be able to hit level 6 before I go to work today. And since there was a monster there, or enemy there, this should... Yeah, I haven't looted this yet. Just a normal club, but whatever. Every penny counts. The escaped prisoner. Let me see if I can actually melee him. Nope, I miss. I'm a source. Oh, wow. I hit someone. Let's back off. I don't want to take chances. Flame. Oh, right. He's level 5, which means he has... Let me see if I can see the abilities here. It doesn't show my familiar abilities, but... Does it show here? No, it does not. But at level 5, pseudo-dragons get a Dragon Breath ability. Let's see. What is... Oh, this is probably a thing concealing a dog. Yeah, it's a guard dog. Poor doggo. Let's put him out of his misery. Because I live in Missouri. This is one way to cull the prison population of Neverwinter. And by cull, I mean that literally. Quick save in case the game crashes. And as I expected, there's a path here that leads up to the final boss, the Intellect Devourer. The difference is that the path I took originally was the stealthy path with less fighting. This one is the more fighty path, which, actually, considering how lousy the loot was, would have been the better option. More XP for us. Currently, I have almost 5,000 gold. I probably still can't afford anything useful anyway. Let's see. Yeah, that's a mini boss. I believe very difficult is next to challenging. It goes from effortless, easy, moderate, challenging, very difficult, overwhelming, and impossible. I think impossible is like 6 or more levels above you. Greater Gloves of Spellcraft. That's not really useful. Spellcraft is used mostly for identifying spells that your enemies cast and also getting a +1 bonus for every 5 ranks in the skill. So it's not really a big deal. I shouldn't be getting hit by spells anyway if I play right. It is used in some dialogue options though. Alright, so I've cleared the prison. It's time for me to get out of here and I wonder if it's faster to just teleport to the temple and then go back to the Peninsula District through the entrance. Will I be missing anything? Actually, yes, that would be the faster option, so let's do that. Before we leave, though, I should probably offload my loot into Arabeth. Yeah, yeah. Yes, thank you, fam, but I need to sell my stuff. I accidentally skipped a dialogue there. Let's put that there, stack that there, so I have more inventory space. I'm gonna keep this. I can't sell this to her. I have to find a rogue merchant who will... A fence, rather. That's what they're called in-game. A fence who will steal stolen items. Technically, all the items I have are kind of stolen from their previous owners. Oh, right, I remember this lady. The upset lady. Have you heard anything? Has there been any word? Please tell me the peninsula is safe again. I've been scared to ask. Everyone seems so busy. I just want to be able to go home. The peninsula is returning to normal now. Everything is fine. Oh, I don't really know how to thank you. Really, you are just too kind. I just hope it was in time for some of my neighbors. Thank you, really. I have nothing more to offer, but I mean it. Thank you so much. I don't know your name. Plowshare, thank you for asking. Plowshare, thank you. What? 3 points towards good for giving her. Okay, sure. Hi, I am Dale. Ding! I'm much more saintly now. Plowshare, thank you for telling me. I'll make sure that only good things are said of you. I promise. Thank you again. Now I can go home. Alright, you're gonna despawn from the city core. Was this guy from the peninsula as well? Good morrow to you, citizen. Wait, are you a new recruit? Are you a new recruit? Yeah, aye. They're replacing the ones we've lost, are they? Goodbye. I don't need to talk to you. Stay alive out there, recruit. I will. I haven't died yet. Let me see. Where is the Peninsula District? Right here. And these are NPCs who are gonna despawn. I'm gonna just talk to them, I suppose. I greet you, my child. Glad that somebody was willing to take those thieves to the woodshed. I gotta thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get back to work in there. Put them out of their misery. I can't believe someone took the time to help us. Thank you for all you have done. It may not be much, but the peninsula is where our homes are. Not that it matters in 2020, but getting these NPCs to despawn would have helped a lot with the performance of this game. I mean, even back in 2002, this game was very well optimized. Let me see. Where's the gate captain? Ah, here he is. It's been a hell of a day. I'm just glad the prison break's been handled and dealt with. That'll be all, gate captain. Alright then, stay out of trouble. So there's still a lot of dark areas here that I have to finish up, and I'm gonna turn in the quest for actually the quest has been finished, but I believe she offered us a reward. Now, before anything else, after taking out one of the bosses, you will be spawning a boss fight when you enter the area that you would be when you enter the area for the next boss fight, and it doesn't discriminate upon which. So we're gonna be spawning some assassins for XP. Poof. There we go. Right on schedule. I'm a future psychic. I can tell the future. Greetings, assassins. I'm from the year 2020. I'm from 18 years in the future, so I know what you're going to be doing. Mostly. Alright, more XP. And oh, they dropped some incriminating evidence. Bullets. Anonymous letter. This note bears no markings as to who may have written it. The plague spreads more quickly than we could possibly have hoped. The streets are thick with corpses, and the citizens are on the verge of open rebellion. Soon Neverwinter will be brought to its knees, and the next phase can begin. But this will not happen if a cure for the Wailing Death is discovered. You must do everything in your power to prevent Arabeth and her agents from ending the plague. This note should be shown to someone in authority. I will show that to Fenthic in a bit. Let me see, have I looted this? Nope. Not yet, so I'm just gonna mop up this part here before turning in the quest. Actually, there's no quest to turn in. I just have to talk to Sedo Sebil in the southeast, and she'll give me some money. That must be the prisoner that my familiar ran off to engage before he de-engaged. I remember that from the last session, where swords just randomly attacked someone and I couldn't see who it was. That's the outside of the Tanglebrook estate. I should probably go there first before hitting up this building here. So the funny thing is that I've played this game long enough to know that when there's a dip in frame rate, that's when you know that an enemy has spawned. And I dabbled a bit in the toolset for this game many years ago, and the way enemies spawn is that they're spawned by trigger. There's like when you step on a certain area, the enemies spawn, and that's how they dynamically load the enemies and monsters into the game, so you don't run out of memory before you even reach that part. Nowadays, RAM is taken for granted, but back in 2002, it was a serious consideration. I've already gone inside here, so there's no need for me to clear that place out. Did I pick this up already? Yes, I did. There's just one more building, I believe, and that should be it. I'm not sure if this is another path to take to get a key. I think I would have gotten to the sewer access. I would have gotten the key from the sewer access. That's how most of the actually no, that's how all of the main quests in chapter 1 are structured. There's one or just like two paths each, and they are, I wouldn't say mutually exclusive. Some of them are mutually exclusive. Some of them allow us to backtrack and go through the other path and loot the items from the other path. Let's see, you unlock that. So killing all these prisoners and taking a key from them and assaulting the front door. That's what we did. The other path would have been to go through the Tanglebrook estate, which we went through the other way around. Oh, this is the wrong place. This isn't the one with the key. I may have been thinking of another quest. It may have been the docks area or the beggar's nest. Alright, this place is fully looted and it's time to leave. One of the nice things about this game is that if you open a door, it remains open until you close it, so you'll know which parts you have gone through and which parts you haven't. So yes, that appears to be all of it. Yeah, I looted everything here already last time. I just noticed the gray area here got explored. I wonder if that's because I cleared everything. Or maybe I just got too close and cleared the fog of war. Either way, let's is there something here? Yeah, I already went through here. That body is on fire. Militia headquarters. Let's go in. Oh, what is that? It's a loot bag. Somebody died under here. Okay, it's just a bolt. The escaped prisoners seem to be a little less vicious. Yeah, I killed them all. They're dead. Certainly they are still dangerous, but whatever was driving the riot seems to be gone. I have no explanation. Head jailer Elephant was controlled by something. Yes, I heard that it was the Waterdavian intellect devourer. I also heard that you turned the remains of it into Arabeth. Good work. Her word is good enough proof that you did the job. I assume the 300 gold danger pay is sufficient? Let's try to ask more money, like a good union person. I went through considerable trouble to get this. Wouldn't a higher reward be suitable? True, you appear to have performed admirably under such pressure. Here, take 375 gold then, and I will make note of it in my report. Yes! Money! I got 25% more by negotiating. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must prepare that report to present to Lord Nasher. He is not well, but news of your success should lift his spirits some. Alrighty, did I loot this place already? Apparently I did. And that's it for the Peninsula District. Sell stuff to Arabeth. Yeah. Oh, right. There's a note. I found a note you might be interested in. Goodbye. Alright, let's turn it into Fenthic. I thought you might be interested in this note. What do we have here? It seems the plague was unleashed on us as part of some greater plot. We may have worse trials ahead of us than the Wailing Death. What could be worse than the Wailing Death, Fenthic? I fear Plowshare is playing a trick on you with this so-called evidence of some grand conspiracy. Why would I do such a thing? Perhaps this is some kind of sick joke on your part, Plowshare, or maybe you thought to get some kind of reward for this flimsy piece of paper. Please, Dexter, I hardly think Plowshare is the kind of man to do such a thing. I think this bears further investigation at the very least. Rest assured that I intend to follow every lead in my efforts to find out who is behind the suffering of Neverwinter. You have done well to bring this to me, Plowshare. Is there some type of reward for bringing this to your attention? We are lucky to have a man like you to help us in this matter, Plowshare. Please accept these 300 gold pieces as a reward for your actions. This note was not easy to obtain, Fentik. Not easy at all. I would give you more if I could, but I must exercise restraint lest I drain Neverwinter's coffers completely. Well, I tried. I'll be going now. Go with the blessing of Tyr upon you. Money! What did he give me? 50 XP, oh wait, no. 50 XP and 300 GP, which is nice. Thanks, fam. I need to sell my stuff to you, so sorry to cut you off. Stack that there. That's a quest item. You get banished to the back. That's it. Well, that didn't take a lot of time at all. It only took about 20 minutes to finish off the Peninsula District, and with barely skipping any of the dialogue. I might have enough time to go through, let's see, Beggar's Nest, Docks District. Let me see. Oh, right. I could talk to my companion and learn more about him. And while I'm at it, I might hit up the other companions in the Trade of Blades as well. I just want to talk. Oh, what did you have in mind, my lord? I'd like to know a little more about you. Oh, it's a bit strange to have you ask me that, my lord. Most people think they know Tommy Undergallows well enough through his reputation. In Calimport, the tales of my deeds were the daily fodder of old men in the taverns. I do not speak of heroic acts, however. I am a halfling of the underworld, if you remember. What sorts of deeds? What sorts of deeds are you talking about then? Oh, nothing so sordid and evil as you might guess. I've had fame and fortune aplenty more than once, and lost it all just as often. My most famous exploit, in fact, is one of the reasons I chose to come to Neverwinter when I fled from Kalimshan. You see, I'd spent the larger part of my years in Kalimport in the employ of a powerful Medusa. She was a great power in the city's underworld, and that is no small feat for anyone, statue-making gaze or no. A Medusa? Are you serious? Quite serious. She had a fine head for business and was as ruthless as any cold-hearted sheik. Not as good with the face-to-face negotiations, though, if you take my meaning. I was in her employ to run errands, burglaries, message deliveries, walking her cat. Assassinations, that sort of thing. I did my job well, too, and was well known for it. The job that made me famous, however, was the last one she gave me. I was to infiltrate the house of the famous vizier Sabalan Vihid and kill him. Were you successful? I was, though not in the manner you are probably suspecting. There's far more to that story than I've told. We've business to undertake, I suppose. Perhaps I'd best tell the rest of the story another time. What do you say to that, my lord? So the way companion quests work in Neverwinter Nights 1 is very, very bare bones compared to like Knights of the Old Republic, but they do use the same system. Their dialogues are unlocked as you level up, and you don't need to have them in your party to unlock more of their story or their quest, unlike in succeeding games like Knights of the Old Republic 2 or Neverwinter Nights 2, which is kind of nice, or even other modules in Neverwinter Nights 1. I'd like to hear the rest now. I probably can hear the rest now because I'm level 5. Wow, you're more impatient than a drunk camel driver in line at the salt market, aren't you? Ask me another time and I'll tell you everything. Oh, I was wrong. Let's see. Let me see if I've unlocked the thing. I just want to talk. Oh, what did you have in mind? Oh, okay. So I think, let's see. Continue your story from before. What's this? Oh, right. Where was I? Was I telling you about my infiltration of the house of the great Vizier Sabalan Vied? Yes, I believe I was. This was no ordinary mission, my friend. Sabalan had stymied the efforts of my Medusan patroness. For many years, he was a mage of no little power. Sending me to kill him was both a vote of confidence in my abilities and, I thought, a near certain sentence of death. Looking me in the eyes would have been cleaner. Were you able to infiltrate his house? I did say it was a job that made me famous, didn't I? And anyway, the threat of being turned into a short statue was rather an incentive to succeed. Perhaps it's fortunate that us halflings aren't given much credit. I was able to squirm my way into the vizier's service as a kitchen boy, and nobody gave me a second thought. For over a month I was pleased to serve the vizier his meals. I spent my time studying him, looking for a way to kill him cleanly, and he barely even noticed my presence. If he didn't notice you, wouldn't that make it easy? Normally, yes. The vizier ate his meals with his daughter, however, and she did notice me. His daughter, the sweet lass, Saida was her name, human to be sure, but she never looked down upon me. I suppose I delayed killing Sabalan at the time just to continue being around her, though I didn't think that at the time. There was just another more excuse after another. The months grew closer, and Saida and I grew closer. She couldn't resist my charms, of course. No lass can when I put my mind to it. We had to be secret about it. I was, of course, just a kitchen boy. I would like to point out that Tommy is a grown man, and he basically seduced the presumably teenage daughter of his target. So I'm getting some Chris Hansen.jpg vibes from him. Were you in love with her? Oh, I don't know about that. I thought so at the time, sure enough. My patroness kept threatening to turn me into a statue and let the pigeons have their way with me, however. I was young and foolish and stupid, however, three traits that are great in a buxom lass, but poor in an assassin. I decided I couldn't hurt Seda by killing her father and told my patroness to go look in the mirror. Needless to say, she didn't take it well. What did she do about it? Well, she's an evil woman with snakes for hair and a look that killed. What do you think she did about it? My Medusa patroness decided to take matters into her own hands, of course. If I had known, I would have left Calimport a lot earlier. I still don't see how this all made you famous. It certainly didn't look that way at the time, I'll grant you that, my lord. At any rate, it's a bit of a story. I'll tell you the rest some other time. Let's just keep on with your quest for now. Tommy will continue his tale about his former life in Kalamshan. Tommy will continue his story when you are a higher level of experience. Let me see if I'm high enough. I just want to talk. Continue your story from before. Nah, I'm not in the mood to talk more about that. Let's just keep going with your quest, aye? Okay, so I'm not high level enough, but I can probably unlock the other stories of the other companions. So this is the Trade of Blades. This is the mercenary house of Neverwinter, where you can hire lots of companions, like this guy, but not this guy. I think he's a merchant. Let me see. How much time do I have left? Actually, quite a lot more time. I haven't even breached 30 minutes. So, since I already cleaned up the peninsula, and that was my only plan for the day, I might as well talk to the other companions. Let's talk to Dale and Red Tiger. This is actually my favorite companion in terms of disposition and skill set. He's useful. The AI in Neverwinter is surprising. Not surprising. It's really stupid. Actually, a lot better compared to the AI of contemporary games, but still stupid. So you don't want spellcasting companions. You want dumb companions who just auto attack, like Tommy and Dalen. Anyway, this imposing half-orc barbarian wears the colors of the Uthgard Red Tiger tribe. There is something honorable in his gaze that sets him apart from others of his race. Who are you? I am Dalen Red Tiger of the Uthgard tribes of the Frozen North, but it has been over a year since I left my people and came to Neverwinter. Now I earn my living as a blade for hire. This is a dick move. I will not say that. I'm sorry, but I don't know much about the Uthgard tribes. There are some in the city who call my people savages and barbarians, but they know nothing of the Uthgard. We are great warriors and hunters, following the herds and living off the land. My tribe is noble but small. Among them there was little chance for a young warrior to prove himself or earn a wife. But I am young and strong, and my people are renowned for their skill in battle. Here in Neverwinter, I found work on the docks as a guard for the cargo and shipments being transported. Then what happened? The coming of the plague changed everything. The quarantine halted all incoming or outgoing ships. There was no work and no money. I should have left the docks then. Many of the dock workers were afflicted, men I had come to know as friends. I stayed to ease their suffering, but in the end I could do nothing to save them from the wailing death. With my friends dead, there was no reason to stay in the docks, not with things getting worse. Now I earn a living with my axe as a freelance mercenary. What did you mean about the docks getting worse? So basically, Dalen is trying to steer me to the docks, whereas Tommy, I think he steered me towards the Peninsula District. It's a way to hook you into the story, basically. What did you mean about the docks getting worse? The quarantine trapped ships in ports, swelling the number of pirates and other criminals in the district, men with no honor. And with the city guard focused on the plague, these evil men have seized control of the docks. An Uthgard warrior knows no fear, but I will not dishonor my tribe. I refuse to serve these men. I will not become a common thug or murderer. Anything else you can tell? Anything else you can tell me about the docks? Before I left, I heard talk in the district of an auction to be held at Jim Seedy's tavern. Something besides the usual stolen merchandise, illegal goods, and helpless slaves sold at his filthy den of sin. The word spread quickly on the street. Perhaps I could have learned more before I left, but I had no interest in such transactions. I am a warrior, not a smuggler. There is little else I can tell you about the docks, but I know the district is dangerous. If you intend to go there, you would be wise to take along a hired blade. Actually, I'm looking for some hired help to assist me on my mission. I am no stranger to battle or bloodshed, but I am a warrior with honor. I will not undertake any sinister mission. Had I desired such work, I could have found employment back in the docks. I work for Lady Arabeth. My mission is confidential. I can understand that. If you are working for Arabeth, then I am certain your mission must be of great importance. Arabeth's reputation is well known throughout the city, so I have no fear your mission will bring dishonor to me. I will work for you if you can agree upon a fair price for my services. Haggling time! I am not one to boast of my own abilities, yet the skill and ferocity of the Uthgard tribes are well known throughout the north. I doubt you will find any other axeman for hire who is my equal. You have a noble and honorable bearing, so I will reduce my normal fee, only 150 gold pieces, and I am your willing servant. That seems a little expensive. I'll give you 100. Perhaps you could split the difference and settle on 125? 125, deal. You will not regret this, my lord. My skills are yours to command. I will follow you and perform to the best of my abilities, according to the orders you have given me. Anytime you wish to issue new orders, you have only to speak to me again. So in Neverwinter Nights 1, you can only have one companion at a time, and when you get a new companion, you leave the previous one behind. So let's talk to him, get to know him. I just want to talk for a while. If you're going to be my henchman, I'd like to know more about you. I would ask Plowshare that before I tell you about myself, you tell me something of yourself. Among my people, it is said that in knowing our companions, we come to know ourselves. I admit that I fight only for gold, but I know nothing of your motivations. Why do you serve Neverwinter during these darkest of times? I have seen too much death and suffering from the plague to stand idly by. That's actually like the most in-character thing for me. 1 and 3 are basically my choices. 2 and no. Let's just pick this. I have seen too much death and suffering from the plague to stand idly by. You are an honorable man, Plowshare. I too seek honor here in Neverwinter, though of a different sort. I came to the city to make a name for myself, Plowshare, to forge a legend that even the tribe of my mother would hear. Instead, I found myself guarding crates and barrels against common thugs. Yet even in the sordid world of the docks my reputation spread. Several captains asked me to join their crews. Perhaps, if the plague had not come, the name Dalen Red Tiger would have become a legend on the high seas. Don't worry, Dalen. Stick with me, and the bards will sing your praises. Perhaps it is for the best. Had I joined a ship's crew, it is unlikely the Uthgard would ever have heard of my accomplishments. My place is here in the north. This is the land of my birth, and this is where I must fulfill my destiny. I will bring no honor to my mother's name by fleeing on a ship. Only if I stay can I hope to redeem the shame of my father's blood and end my exile. Exile? Shame of your father's blood? What are you talking about? Please forgive me, Plowshare. I became lost in the moment. The drums of glory momentarily distracted me from the task at hand. It will not happen again. No, Dylan, tell me what you were talking about. I want to hear it. Please, Plowshare, the things I said before, the words were, this is not the time to speak of such things. Perhaps later I will speak more of this, but not now. Alright, I think I can unlock one more story bit from him. I just want to talk for a while. My strength is in weapons, not words, Plowshare. I want you to continue your story from before. In the time we have been together, you have respected my request for privacy, Plowshare. Now I feel I am ready to tell you the rest of my So the game assumes we've been traveling with him for some time and not just met him a few minutes ago. But whatever. I'm trying to get the most out of the lore here. And actually, the reason why I'm talking to all of these folks is because I kind of finished my task too quickly. And the companion quests actually give some really, really nice items. Like the belt that he gives is really nice. The ring, I think, that one of the other companions gives is nice. And one of them also gives an amulet. Well, their rewards come in the form of amulet, ring, or belt. In the time we have been together, okay, I already read that. I mentioned my exile to you before, Plowshare. The truth is I did not willingly leave the Uthgard to come to Neverwinter. The tribe cast me out. I am a monstrous half-breed. As a child, it was obvious my blood was tainted. I was violent and savage. It was only because of the pleas of my mother that the tribe did not slay me as an abomination while still an infant. Let me see. Checking something. Did they hate you so much just because you were different? You don't understand. Not only am I different, I am half-orc. The orcs are my tribe's most hated enemies. For generations they have warred with the Uthgard. How could my tribe welcome me when I am a living reminder of their worst foe? What about your father? I never knew my father. My mother never spoke of him, though I saw the pain in her eyes whenever I asked. But where the pain came from I could not say. Some in our tribe said he was a vile beast who forced himself on my mother during a raid. Others claimed my mother loved him and welcomed him to her bed, then wept when he was murdered by the warriors who discovered them. The truth I shall never know, for it died with my mother last winter. At her death, the tribe cast me out. Can you blame them? Why waste good provisions on a half-breed bastard yet to prove himself in the world? That's horrible. They had no right to do that. I bear my tribe no ill will. They had little choice. Until I prove myself, they cannot be certain where my loyalties lie. Once I show the spirit of the Uthgard is pure within me, the Red Tiger tribe will welcome me back. And it is not as if they abandoned me in the cold. They gave me food and weapons before they sent me out into the world to prove myself. And a sacred talisman of the tribe once carried by my mother. Yes, that is your quest item, which I will find probably in the docks. Forgive me, Plowshare, but I cannot speak of this anymore. It is too painful. Just tell me how you have to prove yourself to the tribe and we'll do it. I thank you for your kind offer, but there is little you can do for me right now. Please, Plowshare, the things I said before, the words were, this is not the time to speak of such things. Perhaps later I will speak more of this, but not now. Let me see. Yeah, we're too low level to speak to him. So, he has pretty good stats. Strength, con, dexterity. These aren't really useful since I'll be doing most of the talking anyway. Double X plus 1. Let me see. Oh, right. I just remember this. He doesn't have ambidexterity. Let me see. Let me calculate his stats. So 4 plus 4 is 8. Base attack bonus. 8 plus 1 is 9. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, okay. So, yeah, he is getting a lot of penalties for dual wielding without ambidexterity. I don't know if that was an oversight or something, or if they just forgot. So, I mean dexterity, so let me see. Two weapon fighting reduces the penalties. The normal penalty of -6 to the primary hand becomes -4 for the primary hand and -8 for the offhand. So it's basically -2, -2, -6, which yeah, that makes sense. -2, -6, and yeah, two weapon fighting was really messed up in D&D Third Ed. You had to take two feats just to make it work properly. So it's not really that bad. His main attack still hits regularly, just his secondary attack doesn't hit as much. So let's talk to Charwin. Charmin Ultrasoft, and I don't mean just her body, her personality as well. Hey, do you need a henchman? Yes, I do. I might be looking for a henchman. Is that so? Then I shall have to reform my impression of you. Who are you then that you have coin to spare on hiring help? Ah, my name is Plowshare. Pleased to meet you. My name is Sharwin, and I call this city my home. I seek adventure and excitement. If you seek the same, I'd be smart to hire me to accompany you. You're a local girl, are you? Does that make a difference? I see people I've known my whole life falling to sickness all around me. I'd say that gives me more motivation than most. And incidentally, I am no girl. You seem pretty sure of yourself. What other way is there to be? Should I be fawning and squeal at the sight of every mouse? Shall I hang on to your shoulder and beg for protection? I know what I want, and I know what I like when I see it. Such as you. You're a fine-looking human man. Fine-looking. I think that's a charisma check. Human. That's race. Race, and this is the sex. We could make a fine team, you and I. And just what skills do you have? Did I already Actually, well, I am looking for adventure and excitement. Let's have lots of fully clothed platonic adventures with each other. And if I don't seek adventure and excitement, what is it to be then? Duty and honor, power and riches? Somehow I doubt it matters, as I'm willing to bet you'll find adventure and excitement along your path, regardless of whether or not you seek them. I am a caster of bardic magic, a master of all skills, and a teller of the oldest legends. And with or without your help, I intend to achieve my own fame in my time. One day bards will sing their songs about me. I suppose such talk may make me seem arrogant to you, my lord. If so, I don't particularly care. I've known the path I was on for a long time. I left behind a life of riches to live the life of a bard. You left behind a life of riches? If my own family had had its way, I would be by now comfortably married to a wealthy man I could never respect, bored to tears in my large Black Lake District mansion. How odd a game the fates play. My family lies mostly dead now, and Black Lake is full of frightened fools who bury their heads in the sand and pretend that plague won't touch them. So she's trying to steer me to the Black Lake District. What do you know about the Black Lake District? Plenty. It is full near to bursting with rich, frightened nobles who would rather wall off the district from everyone else and pretend the rest of the city doesn't exist than actually try to help. There are those within the district who are trying to rally the rich and to aid the rest of the city, but their cries mostly fall on deaf ears. One day the plague will come to them in force, and they shall regret their selfishness. This kind of feels like what's going on right now in the real world in 2020. Anything else you can tell me about Black Lake? Is there much else to tell? It is perhaps the one place in this city that remains yet orderly and plague-free, although getting inside its walls may be a bit of a problem. There are some elements of seediness, perhaps. Every place you find the rich, you find places where they can indulge their strangest tastes. I understand the local tavern's basement has its distractions. One thing I know for sure, if you intend to get anywhere in Black Lake, you'd best rely on charm rather than muscle. Or maybe bring a companion who knows the terrain. Actually, I'm looking for some help to assist me on my mission. So I understand. Might you be able to illuminate me as to the nature of this mission of yours? I work for Lady Arabeth. My mission is confidential. Oh, well, have it your way. If you're working for Lady Arabeth, I imagine it's something of great importance. Arabeth is Lord Nasher's servant, so your mission is bound to be exciting. Yes, I'd rather like to join you if the price is right. My skills don't come cheaply, however. I'll follow you gladly and to the best of my ability, my lord, provided my price is met. What shall that price be? Well, you seem a fair enough man, a worthy companion. 150 gold and I'm yours. That seems a little expensive. I'll give you 100. I'm not a crate of salt to be haggled over. 150 gold or nothing. Here's your 150 gold. Welcome aboard, Sharwin. Fair enough, my lord. I am at your disposal. I will follow you as you require. If you want me to do something different, do let me know. Shall we get a move on then? What does she have? Sharwin shortbow. I know she has she also has 2-weapon fighting, I think. Also doesn't have ambidexterity. What is wrong with you people? Weapon proficiency exotic. That's so she can use a 2-bladed sword. I think we need to change your tactics. Ranged melee. She's already using ranged. Okay, use your melee weapons. I can do that. I don't want to change anything else right now. There we go. She changed to her 2-handed sword. 2-bladed sword. +6 +2. So, that seems aptly better than her. Yeah, she's a better melee fighter than she is an archer. So I'm gonna keep her that way. So she seems to be like an XP of no, she's not an XP. She actually came before Bastilla in Knights of the Old Republic, who used a double-bladed lightsaber. I just want to talk for a while. Talk about what, Plowshare? I'd like to know more about you. You'd like to know more about me, would you? All right, Plowshare, I'm game for a little chit-chat. I want to ask you something first, however. Why are you on this mission of yours? Why work for Arabeth at all? Did she bat her pretty elven eyelashes at you, or is there some other force at work here I'm unaware of? Well, I cannot idly stand by while people suffer and die. I suppose that is a fair motivation. I feel the same, to tell the truth, although I desire more out of all of this than just mere success. I desire fame above all else. I want to walk the path that others haven't, to make my own legend rather than recount others. I want to be thrilled and awed by my life, and when I look back on it, to regret nothing. This may seem shallow to you. I have my reasons, however, and I ask no one's approval. What do you think, then, Plowshare? Do I have a chance at those things traveling with you? Who knows what might happen? I don't want to give false promise. Who knows what might happen, Charmin? True enough. Adventure can lead to death or obscurity. One can never tell for sure. Far better to make the attempt, I think. Far better even to perform great deeds and remain unknown than to not even try at all. I agree. I know where the normal path leads, believe me, the path of the expected, the path that everyone else wants you to lead. Down that path leads oblivion. I agree. Wow, that was actually a dialogue option. I didn't realize that. You do? Yes, I'd expect your life is just about as far from normal as one can walk, isn't it? You understand whereof I speak. If you wish, I'll tell you a tale sometime about my family and how I became what I am today. You'll probably be bored to tears, as I'm certainly not the stuff of legends yet, but it's up to you. Tell me now. No, I'm not in the mood to tell you that tale just yet. Of legends and fairy tales, certainly, but I only tell stories about myself when I'm ready. I'm sure there's plenty to keep us busy. Correct, Plowshare? Correct? Lead on, Plowshare. Alright, let's get her to tell her story. I want... talk? About what, Plowshare? I want you to continue your story from before. I suppose I did offer to tell you about my family, didn't I? Very well then, Plowshare, I'll tell you. By my family, I actually mean my mother. She is the only true family I've ever known. I never met my father. He and my mother parted ways before I was born. Mother was an adventurer, you see, a mage, in fact, of some skill. This is what other people have told me. However, as mother would never discuss it, she left that life behind along with my father to marry a man of wealth. You don't sound as if you approve. Perhaps not now, but I didn't know any better then. My mother considered her past nonsense as she had much more important things to think about. My mother wanted wealth. She wanted to live a life of fine jewelry, of carriage rides, and a fine mansion in Blacklake. Her husband was a means to an end. She left behind her magic and instead spent her life spending money, far more than my stepfather could ever afford. She didn't care a whit for his complaints so long as he kept providing her coin. When he died unexpectedly, she was devastated, not because he was gone, but because he left behind a mountain of debts. She was terrified at the thought of being poor. So she returned to her magic? Certainly not. My mother had left that behind after all. Once you've lived a life of luxury, it is difficult to believe that anything exists beyond it anymore. She formed a desperate plan. Although she rarely saw me when I was a child, now she had need of me. I was a comely young woman, and she would see me wed to a wealthy bachelor. Not for my benefit, of course, but for her own. I was so meek and accustomed to being ruled by her I couldn't even conceive of an objection. My mother had her eye on the young Lord Farthington. 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 He would never stoop to marry poor nobility, however, not unless he desired me. I would have to seduce him. Did you? I had intended to. I went to Lord Farthington's estate to attend a party being held in his honor, my mother meaning us to meet. When we arrived, I was awestruck at the size of the hall. There were so many people dancing I could barely take it all in, and the music was so beautiful. I stepped onto the floor and approached the man my mother pointed out. I was very nervous, but the man was handsome and kind and witty. I fell in love with him immediately. My mother grabbed me away from him angrily not long later. I had mistaken her directions. It was not Lord Farthington I had danced with after all. It was far too late for my heart, however. Who was this man then? His name was Dannon, a penniless apprentice bard in the service of Lord Farthington. I was utterly in love with him. My mother told me to forget all about him. I couldn't, however, despite the possibility that we might lose everything. Love can do that. I was young and blind and hopeless. I fell for the first man who showed interest in me. Not that my mother intended for that to stop us. I had a choice, obviously, take the path I was expected to and seduce Lord Farthington, or run off with the penniless bard. I should have done one or the other. As it turned out, I made a mess of everything. Being a young fool, I suppose that could be expected. I'll tell you what happened sometime later. Let's just continue on with what you were doing, shall we? I don't think she's gonna tell us her tale yet. Yeah, pretty much. I have to level up more. Should be level 6 or 7 when she'll tell us her story. Let's move on to the Angry Murder Dwarf, Grimnaw. So there is something unsettling about this dwarven monk. His eyes are cold and empty, and there is a stillness about him that seems almost unnatural. Yeah, angry murder dwarf. And I just noticed somebody was actually chatting in chat. That felt bad. Timestamp 10:27. I just noticed it now. Sorry, I don't monitor chat because I forgot to set up my phone. Oops. I think this is a reference to Tommy Undergallow's comment. Anyway, who are you? How do you know about the Academy? I am Grimnaw, a monk of the Order of the Long Death. The grisly account of the Academy is no great secret, Plowshare. Not to those who seek things out. Seek such things out. Where is my phone anyway? Oh right, it's charging. Heck, I can't monitor chat. Tell me, as you stood amidst the blood-soaked corpses of your fellow students, did you gaze upon the face of death? Did you look into his cold eyes and feel his icy touch upon your soul? Not gonna point that out. What's the monk of the Long Death Order doing in Neverwinter? There is a foul taint upon this city. Death, true permanent death, is perfect in its absolute finality. Pain, suffering, anguish, torture, these are the tools that prepare us for my master's soothing embrace. Oh my goodness, you're so dark and edgy, I could cut myself on your fists. But this plague is unnatural. Its victims never pass to embrace of the Silent Lord. The wailing death is a blight upon the world that must be ended. So far, I have uncovered no answers on my own that might help end this epidemic, though I am eager to search the beggar's nest. He's steering me towards the beggar's nest. We're gonna punch some zombies to death. What's in the beggar's nest? I have heard rumors that in the blighted district, zombies walk the streets. Few things are so reviled by my order as the abomination of the undead. It would be reasonable to imagine there is some connection between the undead and the unnatural end of those who succumb to the wailing death. Why haven't you investigated the beggar's nest yourself? Alone I am not likely to survive the dangers of the district, and throwing my life away is a foolish way to serve the Silent Lord. My death will come in its appointed time. Yes, when you face against the player character of Hordes of the Underdark in Hell. Actually, I'm looking for some hired help to assist me on my mission. The monks of the Long Death rarely join with those outside our order, but I sense the mark of my master is upon you. Click, click, click. Yeah, that person's still here? Nope, they're gone. Oops. Continue. A storm of blood swirls around you. Anguish and death will follow in your wake, just as it did at the academy. Yet there are many whom death will follow in this city, many who are willing to pay for my services. My fee to join your cause, 150 gold. Yes, that's your standard hiring rate. How about 100 and the promise of lots and lots of killing? Ding! There are many who would pay me more to join them, but your offer of unbridled bloodshed is tempting. What if we compromise at 125? Deal! I foresee a future of brutal and savage slaughter at your side, Plowshare. My order will be pleased. My hands will deal death to your enemies, and all my skills are yours to command. Whenever you wish me to change my tactics, you have only to speak to me. So, I forgot to examine Charmin. With her haughty gaze and challenging posture, this beautiful young bard almost dares people not to notice her. Don't notice me, senpai. Oh, it's not like I wanted you to notice me, senpai Baka. Oh my goodness, Tsundere-chan. Alright. What does he have? He has a higher attack bonus because he's not dual wielding. He's actually gonna be punching people to death. Alright, let's get your backstory. I just want to talk for a while. Conversation is one way to pass the time until the Silent Lord comes to claim us. What do you wish to speak about? If you're going to be my henchman, I'd like to know more about you. I would ask, Plowshare, that you tell me about yourself first. I am eager to know what type of man I have allied myself with. Why do you serve this plague-ravaged city? What possesses you to venture out into the streets amidst the bloated, swollen corpses and the burning funeral pyres? I have seen too much death and suffering from the plague to stand idly by. What the plague brings upon the people of this city cannot truly be called death. There is no final release for the victims of this illness into the waiting grasp of the Silent Lord. True death, the ultimate end of existence, is the one perfect absolute in a flawed world of uncertainty. The Order of the Long Death understands this. Tell me more about the Order of the Long Death, Grimno. We bring pain, torment, and anguish to the denizens of this world to prepare them for the release of death. We spread devastation. We seek to tear down, to obliterate, and to destroy. The monks of my order bow down to death, Plowshare. We may swear allegiance to another, but only as it serves the will of the Silent Lord. So the Silent Lord is the god your order worships? My order does not bow before any god. We worship death itself in all its incarnations. Gods are transient. Even a god may die. Baal, Bane, Sirik. But death itself is always present. The Silent Lord is the name we give to the concept, the very essence of death. We all serve death in one way or another, Plowshare. It was only after I left Mithril Hall to join the Order that I truly came to understand this. Hey, it's a reference to Drizzt novels. Mithril Hall? Is that where you come from originally? I spent several years at Mithril Hall in the service of Bruenor Balhammer. Yay, name drop! Before I joined the Order of the Long Death. But there was no place for me among the clans at Mithril Hall. I was shunned and reviled by my own kind. Shunned? What do you mean? This is not the time to speak of this, Plowshare. Let us return to our mission. The Silent Lord's hunger will not be sated by mere words. Alrighty. I have two more mercenaries to talk to. Let's talk to Linu. Let's loot this desk first. A potion. Hey, do you need a henchman? While rubbing a stain off her shirt, this young elf glances around with a cheerful visage. Yet there is a hardness that belies her gentle exterior. So, if you notice, she said please now. It got replaced by sir because I'm a man, and you're not that other one. Him, it replaced that other one because I'm a man. So if I were playing a female character, it would say please ma'am, you're not her. What did I... Who are you? Oh goodness, how embarrassing. Why does this always happen to me? Who are you? Before I tell you anything about me, I would like to ask you a question if you don't mind. Go ahead. You're not one of those dirty, underhanded, conniving thief types, are you? No, I'm not. Why do you ask? I have had nothing but problems with irritating, despisable thieves ever since I left, but that's not important right now. Let me introduce myself. Okay. My name is Linu Laneral, a devout priestess of Sehanin Moonbow. I seek to continue my adventures by hiring myself out as a healer. I'm looking for a good healer to help me in my mission. I want to trust you and I need the work, but I really don't care to be involved in any shady deals. Perhaps you could tell me more about this mission. I work for Lady Arabeth. My mission is confidential. I can understand that if you are working for Arabeth, then I am certain your mission must be of great importance. Arabeth has worked hard to combat this plague, so I am sure I can trust her instincts in this matter. I would love to work for you if we can agree upon a fair price for my services. My goal in life is to get through with a minimum of pain, but sometimes one has to aim for simple survival. To achieve that, you will need an experienced healer. I promise I will do my best to keep you in excellent health. You have a pleasant and trustworthy demeanor, so I will reduce my normal fee, only 150 gold pieces, and you will gain the talents of one who can heal and fight. That seems a little expensive. I'll give you 100. You seem like an agreeable man to work for. 100 it is, and all my skills are yours to command. I will follow you and perform to the best of my abilities, according to the orders you have given me. Anytime you wish to issue new orders, you have only to speak to me. I think that's a standard reply when they get recruited. Another thing about this game is that the way the game tracks companions through the different chapters is they give you this plot item. Dalen's Feather, Sharwin's Contract, Grimnaw's Gem, Lino's Token. And basically, the game will know that you hired these people if you have these items on you. Because, well, there's a questionable design decision they made in that if you never hired any of these people in chapter 1 and completed their quests, then you can never complete their quests in succeeding chapters. So you basically have to talk to all these people if you want to get their nice quest items. Anyway, let's talk to her. Let's see. Let's talk. I love chatting with you, but don't you think we should focus on your mission right now? Well, if we're going to be working together, I'd like to know more about you. I guess that is understandable. I have been away from my home and friends for a long time now. I would like to get to know you too. All right, Plowshare, what questions do you have for me? Why did you leave your homeland? You don't start with the easy questions, do you? This is a bit of a difficult question to answer, but I will do my best. I had worked in the Temple of the Full Moon in Everasca for about 6 years before I left my home. I loved the peacefulness of the temple. But even there, accidents and tricks of fate made life difficult. It wasn't usually anything big, just me in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know why, but I just didn't have any luck. Well, bad luck happens to all of us at one time or another. It's not always bad luck, though. Sometimes I can be a little gullible. That's what got me into trouble and sent away from Everasca. I was collecting tithes one day when a heavily cloaked figure came begging at the temple. He looked like a starving child, so I took him inside the inner sanctum to get him some food, and when I came back, he was gone. There was also something else missing, something very precious to the church. What did the thief steal? Please forgive me, Plowshare. I can talk no more about this. We don't know each other well, and I can't share my most embarrassing moment with a stranger. No, Lino, I want to hear what you had to say. Please, Plowshare, I should not have said so much. We will talk more about this later, but not now. Alrighty. Talk more, continue story. I appreciate that you have waited patiently. Waited patiently a few seconds after you said no to badger you with your story. Anyway, I think we have gone through enough together to warrant a deeper level of respect. I just ask that you don't make fun of me since this was such a dark blot on my name. Many years ago, a cleric performed a service for the people of Everasca by uncovering a drow plot to destroy the city. Sayanine Moonbow came and presented the priest with a silver goblet. And that is what was stolen? Yes, the thief stole it right out of the temple and managed to sneak out of Everasca. No small accomplishment there. The other priests were frightfully mad. Only the head priest was willing to concede that it could have happened to someone else. But of course it didn't. It happened to the person that broke the head off the golden statue of Coralon. I didn't know what to do, so I stayed up all night praying to Sayanine to guide my path. The goddess heard my prayer, and just before the first ray of light broke the dark, I was granted a vision. The second dialogue option is like, what, did you tell you to get the hell out of Everasca before you doomed them all? What happened in the vision? I saw myself leaving Everasca and going on a long journey. At the end of the journey, I returned with the chalice. The trip itself was a blur. I had no idea where to go other than north and west. When I told the priests of my vision that would take me far away from them, they held a cheerful celebration in honor of my sacred quest. It was the first moment in my life when I felt I truly belonged. Yes, I'm sure they were very happy for you. But now they will never welcome me back to their city. My quest has failed. Surely it has not failed. You will find it someday. No, you do not understand. No one will ever understand. I shall be an outcast for life. Please, Plowshare, I should not have said so much. We will talk more about this later, but not now. And yeah, I don't think she's going to tell us more. Yep. So Linu is armed with a mace, and she's a spellcaster, which makes her a really, really, really bad choice for Neverwinter Nights. However, she does have turn undead, so that might be useful in the not Peninsula, the Beggar's Nest, which is overrun by zombies. Let me see which area she tries to steer us towards. Do you have any advice or suggestions you can give me about my mission? Black Lake. Okay, she's steering us towards Black Lake. I wish I could be more helpful, Plowshare. All I really know about is the Black Lake District, but otherwise I know nothing of the city. I'll talk to you about that some other time. Let's grab Body Knock. This gnome's sorcerer's brow is perpetually furrowed into wrinkles of intense concentration as he studies the world around him with a careful and analytical gaze. So his original avatar was basically a gnomish version of Leonard Nimoy, and because of some legal implications, they changed his avatar to this angry boy. But you have a certain bearing about you that distinguishes you from the ordinary citizen. Based on my observations, I adventure the hypothesis that you are an adventurer, correct? You're right. I am an adventurer. My name is Plowshare, the sorcerer. Who are you? I am Bodinock Linkle, a gnome sorcerer from the island of Lantan, who has only recently arrived here in Neverwinter. Sorcerer? I thought Lantan looked down on magic. As a practitioner of arcane magic yourself, you must surely have encountered the suspicion and fear with which most common folk regard our art. My homeland is not so different. The Lantanese people do not disparage magic, though many do not understand it. However, in my land we rely on the arcane far less than the other peoples of Faerun. We prefer to seek a scientific solution to a problem rather than a magical one. Often, through observation and experimentation, a problem can be solved without resorting to magecraft. Of course, sometimes a little touch of the arcane is a good thing. When the situation is appropriate, I do not hesitate to use my powers, Plowshare. I may be from Lantan, but I am first and foremost a sorcerer. Lantan, isn't that the place where all those crazy inventions come from? My homeland does have a reputation for producing marvelous machines and outlandish contraptions, not otherwise known in Faerun. We Lantanese are a people guided by the analytical principles of science, observation, reason, and logic. But don't allow yourself to be misled by rumors and hearsay. We aren't all kooky inventors as some would have you believe. I myself am a sorcerer. What are you doing in Neverwinter? I left my home some time ago to experience the broader world. It is not uncommon for the people of my island to undertake such a journey. I was exploring the northern Sword Coast when I heard rumblings of a previously unknown plague breaking out in Neverwinter. In the name of scientific discovery, I came to investigate and catalog the new illness. For science! Fortunately, I arrived before the city was quarantined. I decided to begin my investigations of the Wailing Death in the Beggar's Nest. Why the Beggar's Nest? From the accounts I gathered, it was generally agreed that the Beggar's Nest was where the outbreak began. I thought the best way to learn about the plague was to trace it back to its source. And when I learned the clerics were unable to combat the plague, I thought that I could apply the scientific principles of Lantan to discover a more mundane cure. Unfortunately, I had to end my investigations into the Beggar's Nest mere days after they began, far too short a time to conduct a proper study of the situation. Why did you stop your investigations? It is difficult to conduct a serious a serious scientific analysis when you are constantly besieged by zombies. Yeah, zombies are inconvenient. Much as I wanted to continue my research, I was not about to throw my life away to do it. However, the zombie infestation struck me as more than mere coincidence. I suspect there may be more than a causal relationship between the animated corpses in the district and the outbreak of the plague itself. While the zombies continue to wander the district, I cannot test my theory, but I suspect information that could lead to a cure can be found within the Beggar's Nest. Yeah, actually, I'm looking for some hired help to assist me on my mission. Your mission? What mission would that be exactly? I work for Lady Arabeth. My mission is confidential. A confidential mission from Lady Arabeth. Given the circumstances, it is not difficult for me to surmise that your mission is somehow connected to finding a cure for the plague. Given my own scientific interest in the plague, I would be glad to accompany you in your mission, Plowshare. All evidence seems to indicate you are a capable man who isn't afraid of a little adventure and exploration. And you have the bearing of a decent employer. I'll join up with you for 150 gold pieces. How about 100 and the promise you'll experience wonders you've never seen before? I guess it's only logical that we should do a little bartering. Besides, I've got a good feeling about you. What if we compromise at 125? Yeah, sure. Every expedition needs a leader. Since you're paying, it's only logical that you should be the one in charge. I'll use my spells and skills to help you out as we go along, as best as I can. If you ever want me to change my tactics, just speak to me to give me my new instructions. All right. This dude is the last companion available in the original campaign. Yeah, let's talk, fam. If you're going to be my henchman, I'd like to know more about you. Your request is completely logical, Plowshare, and I will be happy to answer your inquiries. However, as you might expect, I have some questions of my own. Why are you here, Plowshare? What events are the underlying basis of your service to Arabeth and the city of Neverwinter? Well, I have seen too much death and suffering from the plague to stand alibi. I also want to get paid. Well, you know. Compassion is an admirable trait, Plowshare, though I must confess my own motivations when I came here were quite different. When I heard about the plague, I was flushed with the thrill of scientific discovery. I thought that if I applied the principles of observation and experimentation, I could discover a cure for the plague. It was only after I arrived that I realized how wrong my preconceived notions were. I suppose the need to learn this lesson was one of the reasons my mentor insisted on sending me out from Lantan. Your mentor? I am a sorcerer. I had the ability to unleash powerful and dangerous forces. I would have been foolish to undertake this career path without seeking the guidance of one more experienced than I. However, sorcerers and wizards are not common in Lantan. We prefer to find a scientific solution to problems whenever possible, rather than relying on magic. At last I managed to locate another who could train me in the arcane arts, a human sorcerer named Profiro, who lived in a secluded tower on the far side of the island. And he took you in? I admit that when I first arrived at Profiro's tower, I did not receive a warm welcome, or rather, to be more accurate, I should say I received an overly warm welcome. Fireball! Just as I reached Profiro's tower, a large lizard popped out from behind a nearby bush. It was somewhat alarming. However, when the creature opened its jaws and belched forth a jet of flame, I became absolutely terrified. Okay, it's a breath weapon. I fled back the way I had come, the fire drake's blasts of flame licking at my heels the entire way. As soon as I passed beyond the boundaries of Profiro's land, the creature turned and disappeared back into the bushes. I guess Profiro didn't like guests. Once I had regained my wits, I realized the fire drake served a dual purpose. It was a guardian for Profiro's estate, but it also provided a challenge for any would-be apprentices who might wish to approach him. If I could find a way to best the creature, I was certain Profiro would see my potential and accept me as an apprentice. The problem was how to get past the creature when my magic was barely capable of igniting a candle. I had to rely on my mind to solve the problem, so I began to analyze the facts as I knew them, and I realized the creature was nothing more than an illusion. An illusion? How did you figure that out? I simply looked at the evidence. Fire drakes are not indigenous to my island, and the climate is hardly suitable for one to survive. Thus, I had noticed no burnt patches of grass or scorched bushes on the grounds. And the flames I felt licking at my heels had done no damage to my shoes and clothing. Armed with undeniable proof of the illusion, I marched up to the tower once again. When the lizard appeared, I simply ignored it. It charged straight at me, fire and smoke spewing from its jaws. But I held my ground, and a split second before the beast bowled me over, it disappeared in a shower of light. The door to the tower swung open. I stepped in to see an old man in robes. He smiled at me and said, "Well done, Buddy Knockwinkle. You have proven yourself worthy of being my student." What is it like me as his apprentice? I'm sorry, Plowshare, but this isn't the most reasonable time to discuss this, is it? After all, Neverwinter is in great peril. Ask me about this again later, Plowshare, and I will be happy to continue my tale, but for now we should focus on your mission for Lady Arabeth. Alright, so checking a few things. He's the last guy. Let's continue your story. You seem quite interested in my time as an apprentice under Profiro. Plowshare, I suppose we can afford a few minutes for me to recount those days for you. You are a sorcerer just as I am, Plowshare. Logically, I would assume our experiences in our early training were quite similar. Profiro instilled in me the basic principles of magic and the underlying laws governing the arcane. His knowledge and wisdom were an inspiration to me, though his organizational skills were somewhat lacking. What do you mean by that? I would constantly stumble across magic items carelessly strewn about the tower. Potions and elixirs from half-finished experiments would be left sitting out on the kitchen table. Ancient scrolls he had been copying would be stuffed under the cushions of his chairs. Wands would turn up in closets and drawers. And he never ever locked his laboratory despite the countless powerful magic items and dangerous experiments he often dabbled in. You must have found that quite a temptation. I admit seeing all those potions and wands and scrolls just lying around was difficult, and I must confess that eventually I did give in to the temptation. I just snapped. I couldn't take it anymore, and I did something rash and completely out of character. I waited until my master left on an extended trip, and I cleaned up Profiro's laboratory. I organized the scrolls and potions and wands. I built shelves to store the magical components of his research, and I made a catalog card system so he could cross-reference all of his tests and results. Yes! He went full Lantan. Items that were particularly powerful or unstable I locked safely away in a magically reinforced chest with a key that I presented to Prothero on his return. That's it? You cleaned up? What can I say, Plowshare? I was young and foolish. Prophero's own reaction was similar to yours. He couldn't believe what I had done, although he did continue to use the filing system I had set up for him. You had all that magic at your fingertips, and you didn't even try to use any of it. What kind of sorcerer are you? Weren't you even curious? Of course I was curious, Plowshare, but my hunger for experimentation was tempered by reason. Imagine the damage it could have done if I dared to experiment on my own. Lawful neutral, yeah. I was an apprentice, so the sensible course of action was for me to follow the lead of my master. Any other course of action would have been illogical. I guess your actions make sense now that you've explained them. I admit my actions may seem overly cautious, but that is the way of my people. Curiosity is tempered by careful analysis. However, ever since I left Lantan, I find I'm growing more bold in my quest for discovery. After all, I did come to a plague-infested city in order to chronicle new disease, among other things. Among other things? What do you mean? Is there another reason you came to Neverwinter? I'm sorry, Plowshare. I should not have said anything about this to you. It is really a trivial matter, and you have far more important things on your mind. You can tell me, fam. Maybe it's something I can help you with. Ask me about this again later, Plowshare, when you're level 6 or 7, and I will be happy to continue my tale. But for now, we should focus on your mission for Lady Arabeth. Alright, we've gotten all the companions. And I have time to spare. Holy carp. Let me see. We're gonna banish your gem to the last page. Merchant. Can I sell anything? Step right up. I've got just what you're looking for. My shop ain't what it used to be, but I'm still a shopkeeper nonetheless. Let me see your wares. It's a basic store. Nymph cloak. I can buy that. What's my charisma right now? 17. So I won't get another stat bump until level 8. And unlike in succeeding games, the stat boosts actually stack up, so I can get multiple plus charisma cloaks, and they all stack. So I'm gonna buy a teal, whatever color that is, cloak. I'm gonna sell my current cloak. You only have non-magical items, so I don't need any of those. Ring of Protection, Amulet of Natural Armor. This is a bit redundant because I will have Mage Armor for +1, +1. So I'm going to save my money and not buy any of those. Maps, I won't be buying any of those. Magic Bag, no, I can just teleport back to Arabeth and sell my stuff if I have too much. So, should I take Tommy or... You know what, let's take Best Waifu with us. Yes. Good, let's go. And for what it's worth, not that it matters, but I have a preference for women with black or red hair. Until I met a really nice person last year, pretty much seeing blonde hair on a woman just made me gloss over them. I pretty much didn't notice them unless they were really, really, really nice or really interesting, which pretty much describes the friend I made last year. Let's see. Thinking. I believe you give a quest. Mercenaries are... it's just a... Do you have... Yep, you have the same thing. Hail to ye! Here there, friend. I suppose I got time to chat. Trade of Blades ain't very busy today, and I'm getting nowhere with this waitress. I want to ask you some questions. What waitress? I don't see a waitress. What? I suppose. Make it quick, though. I have ever so many places to be. Yeah, right. Where can I go to get some action? Now you're talking my language. Just one place. I don't know. This place is pretty much just for weapon fighting. No fancy stuff. Just straight out brawling. You can tell me. I'm up for it. No, it's better if I don't say anything. There's a rule about the gauntlet. Yeah, Fight Club. I forget what it is though because nobody talks about it. Yeah, that's a Fight Club reference. So I can basically just keep hammering at him. Persuade. Ah, damn it. Yes, success. There we go. Ah, fine. Ain't no big thing. So basically, what every character just did is like, oh, please tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. And just keep nagging the dwarf until he just gives up. Ah, fine. Ain't no big thing. If you're not good enough, you get beat down anyway. Just don't blab about it. It's a club for fighting. Yes, Fight Club. You just broke the first two rules. You do not talk about Fight Club. You do not talk about Gauntlet. If you want action, that's where you go. I can tell you a pass if you want 50 gold. Here's my 50 gold. And here's your pass. Don't say where you got it, although I doubt they'll ask. Nobody talks about the gauntlet, but people show up anyway. The Board Laid Bear Tavern is in the Black Lake District. Give the pass to the bartender. Good luck, you'll need it. Goodbye. Get on then, I've got drinking to get to. So I won't be going to the... Actually, So the thing about the gauntlet is that when you win it, you win the bar, and you get some of its earnings after you finish the quest. Which means it may be worth it to finish it first, but I don't think I'll probably be powering through the quest really quickly, so I won't even have any extra gold from it. So whatever. Before I go, henchman, body knocks tail. Yeah, these are their companion quests. I'm taking Sharwin with me because she's the most useful among them, I think. Actually, I should probably stick with Dalen Red Tiger. He's more useful. Sharwin, though, can open locks. So I don't have to bash locks. She can't disable traps, unlike what's his name, Tommy. Oops. Oh, he still has his intelligence drained from the intellect devourer. Anyway, I should probably rest right now. I'm getting pretty hungry. It's getting close to noon, and I have to cook my lunch and then get ready for work. So I believe this will be it for now. So before I go, let's save the game. Plowshare Twitch. Save. Exit. Alright, in this session, I basically cleaned up the rest of the Peninsula District. Then got to learn more about my party in the Trade of Blades. It's not so much a party because I can only have one at a time, but if you play Hordes of the Underdark, it is implied that Plowshare basically hired all of them. Rather, the hero of Neverwinter, who is canonically male, hired all of the Trade of Blades companions, and they all went with him on his quest. I believe it was just the technical limitations of this game that prevented you from getting all of them, or more than one of them at a time. Anyway, folks, that's it for now. I'll see you some other time.